guys, it's Patricia, your friendly neighborhood teen librarian. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make delicious, smooth, creamy scrambled cheese eggs for mom just in time for Mother's Day. So a couple things you need to have handy. 2 eggs, 1/4 cup of cheese, a little salt, set that aside for later, and you need to go ahead and have a plate ready. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I cut this recipe in half because I'm running out of eggs. So I just have 1 egg in this pan right here. It's a saucepan. I know it looks funny. We'll talk about that later. So let's go ahead, get it on a medium-high to high heat. And I need this guy right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and start scrambling this inside the pan. And we want to use a scraper here because we're not just scrambling, but we're constantly scraping the edges of the pan. And if you look in here, we're just going to go and do this until it starts to cook a little bit. And then once we see it start to stick to the bottom and start to stick together, we're going to pull it off the heat for a little bit. Reason why is because we want to make sure we do not overcook our eggs. They're going to get gross, they're going to get rubbery, they're not going to taste very good. So here we are, just doing this. Now because we don't want to overcook our eggs, that's why we don't use that big pan that you've probably seen Mom, Dad, and so many other people use. We just want to use one of these little small pans because we don't want to overcook and we want to make sure that we can control these eggs. These are going to be absolutely delicious. Now if you're somebody who likes butter, at the very beginning of this recipe for 2 eggs, go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of butter. We're getting there. Aha, so now we can see it's starting to stick together, starting to do something. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to pull it off the heat. I know this sounds really odd, but this pan is still hot. So it is still cooking the egg. So we're doing kind of like a low and slow here. Letting the pan cool down for a little bit. See, it's still starting to stick together. We're still cooking those delicious eggs. And we're going to do this about 2 or 3 times. All right, let's go ahead, put it back on the heat. Again, constantly scraping. Constantly scraping. Getting in there, getting in there. Probably for 20 to 30 seconds. Once I normally see it kind of start to cook on the bottom and stick to the bottom, I pull it off. We want to try to avoid that sticking if we can. That's how our eggs get overdone. All right, so we are almost there at that point in time. Eggs are a little watery, a little runny. So that means they're almost done. So now we had set aside the cheese and salt earlier. Go ahead, put that in. We're going to return it to the heat. We're going to melt the cheese, make it nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. And then one of the things that we have to do quickly is get it out of the pan because again, we don't want to overcook it. And there, you got to act fast. So I'm going to pull it off the heat. Low and slow stir. Because again, the pan is still hot. It is still cooking the eggs. And look at that, nice and creamy. Hurry, get them out of the pan, get them out of the pan. Look at that. There you go. Delicious creamy cheese eggs for mom for Mother's Day every time. Now, you got plenty of days to practice. So go ahead and practice. Don't screw it up. Bye guys. Bye mom. Happy Mother's Day.